In this video I am going to explain cURL 101 and I will start from this postman. So I have one request, and if I send this request, then I get a response like this. And let me just check that if I am using correct one. Okay, so let's see, change this and then run this again. So you can see I get one result like this. So this is the postman request, and if we go into this coding part, then I'll see the cURL code. I need to choose from this drop down the cURL cURL to get the cURL code. But before going to that part, if you look at this, that I have body and form data. Here is the key and here is the type actually. So you can see text or file, and here is the value. And on the most important part is that I do have this drop down where I can say content type, right? And you can see that content type is application/JSON, and this is important. Okay, and one more thing, that we can use file as well and put this JSON in the file, and I have that example in this one. So the same thing, query and then file, and here is the file, and then content type is auto. Okay, so if I just run this, I'll get a different response because this has different JSON, but ideally I get that same kind of response like this. Okay, so we can use file or we can use text, and we can specify that. But if we use text, then make sure you specify the content type, and in this 3 dot we'll have those options. I could get rid of that description. Okay, so the main part of this video is that how to understand the cURL. So if we go into this, and then if we just get this cURL and then just copy this, and I will explain each part of this one by one. So here is the cURL request. So this is the keyword, this is the location of that URL, so that is basically what we see in this section. Okay, up to page number, right? So that is, if we go into this, up to 1. So that is the location. And the important part is that we are using double quotes. So if we are doing this on a Mac, then we need to use single quote instead of double quote, and you have that option in this quote settings, and you can say okay, quote type, so string denoting the quote type to use single or double for URL. Use double quotes when running cURL in cmd.exe, that is in Windows, and single quote for the rest, so that is for the Mac. So if we are using in the Mac, then we should use single quotes from this drop down. And in the same way, line continuation character, so if we go into this, then you can see it's a multi-line cURL request, and if you go into this at the end of the line, you can see this character, like in each line, right? So we should use that character if you want to send this from the Windows, that is CMD, but for Mac, OS X or Linux, that should be slash, backward slash like this. So that's two different thing. And then we can have another option, that is, so we have said the single quote and then characters, line continuation character, and I think that's it. Yeah, so we can use this cURL location, and if we want to specify headers, so we have short form, we have long form. So if you see that use long form option, use short form option. So like a long form for cURL option are double dash header, and short form is single dash capital H. Okay, so like if you want to add a form data, then that will be single dash capital F and double dash small form keyword. So that is if you look at this, double dash form, right? So if you want to include header, then you need to use header. If you want to include body, then you can use dot data. And if we have, I have some example here as well, like where is that? So that is location, and then we have output, so double hyphen and then output. We can use smaller form, that is hyphen and O. Okay, and we have this double dash verbose, so This is for showing the logging on the CMD. So like, if I just get this and then I say okay, I need to see different parts, then I can say okay, barbers. We can use short form that should be -v. Okay, and let me run this again. Now you'll see that it's printing this information that okay, trying to connect this part, connected to API text, Europa call offers HTTP 1.1 and so on. These are the different information, these are the completely uploaded and fine, and then content type, transfer encoding and so on. So if we want to see all of those, then we can use this purpose. Okay, if we want to include form data, then we should use --form. Okay, like this. And as I said, that type is important, and you can see the type is colon, then type equals to application.json. Okay, so you can see we can call this API. This is a post request, and then we can get the response, and you can see those response in this command prompt. But if you want to save this response to a file, then we should use output. So if I go into this example, then you can see this is that simplified part of this, because I have excluded this header. Those are not mandatory, so that's why I have removed those. But anyway, so if we want to save this to a specific location, then we can use that in this section. So let me just change that, this one, to say okay, --output should be my d/downloads/rest.json, and I think this should be / instead of the backward. Let's try this. Let's make sure that I don't have any file by this name. And you can see I don't have any file by that name. So let's copy that, call again, let's run it, Ctrl+A, Ctrl+C, let's try this. Failed to decrypt data, need more data, and so on. What is this? Multi-part form data, content type binary, so on. Okay, failed to decrypt data. Let's see that file again. You can see the response. Total result is 11, and we get that response. But this is how we can save the response to a specific file using this --output. I'm just ignoring these errors. Maybe we need to look into this later on. Okay, anyway, so we can save this response to a file using this --output, and then specify the file path like this. And if you want to, like this query, so this is the key, this is the value. We can read this value from a file as well. So let me show you that example as well. If you look at this using file, that form query equals to @ so this is important. So you need to use @ if you want to just upload this file instead of the content only. If you want to just upload that file, then you should use this @ okay. So let me just this one and put that this output, so we'll see that response. Let's see. So if I try this, then it's trying to upload, and I think it's finished. So let's see the response file, response.json, and I'm not sure if I am looking into that updated on or old on. So let me just delete that again, and let's run this again. So get that JSON. Still I'm not sure. Let's see, in this is not bad. Yeah, so response time, total result 11. So we get that response back, right? So this is how we can specify if we want to use file option. So @ and then we need to skip this double quote, so that's why this slash, and then this is the file name, and then we need to skip this double quotes again, so that's why this slash, and then we need to specify the type equals to application/JSON. But if we want to just use the file data instead of that putting that file, then we need to use this bracket option, like less than sign. So let's try that, and I think we get that response as well. So let me just delete this first, let me run it again, and we can see that we get the response. Let's see in there, yes, so 11. So you can see we can use that approach as well if you want to just get the data from that file instead of specifying those JSON here and encode this. Okay, so we have three options. Either we can just put this whole data, we can specify the file path using @, or we can get the data from the file using this less than sign. So this is form part, and we have other option from this cURL section. We can look into that, all the details from this website, that is cURL.se, command line tools and library, and I think it has all the options, like we can see the documentation and so on. Okay, what is this lib cURL? I'm not sure about that one, I haven't used that. Test form cURL. Option that dos.form, so you can click on that. This is the same website. Dash form, if you want to learn verbose, you can find that. You can specify that method or something like that. No, X, I guess. Request, I guess, yeah. So you can specify this request, the short form is .x. You can specify the data and so on. You can specify data raw, data binary, and different options. So you can look into this a lot more. Okay, but that was 101, cURL 101. So let me just real quick review this if I am forgetting anything or not. So that is, you can use data like this. Okay, that's the way we should use the data option. Data, and then this is a multi-part form data. I'm just converting that into a data. So that's one way. And then output, we can specify form like this, header form, yeah. Okay, that's it. Couple of things is different in Mac versus Windows, and that is line continuation character, quotation character, single quote or double quote. And then I think we shouldn't have anything like, as Mac use single quote, we don't need to skip these double quotes, but in Windows we need to skip these double quotes. We have some other part, like as single quote is being used in case of double quotes for Mac, then we shouldn't have single quote here. If we have, then we should skip that. And I think we have different escape characters, so line continuation character, quote type, follow redirects. I think that's it. This two is most important one. So that's it. And also one more thing, that you can import any cURL request into Postman. So you need to click on this and you can paste the cURL, and then it will create a request. cURL will be provided without an option preceding it. All other options must be specified. So I think maybe we are missing something, I think, but be careful about this one. I tried this one and it was just skipping that data body, but I'm not sure why. So that's it for this video. That's what I have learned, and most of the things are similar in Windows versus Mac, and I have tested in both. So that's it for this video. Let me know if you have any question or if you have any suggestion for me to improve my skill on this part. Have a good day.